All right, quick. We need to add some SQL onto my project. So we have our project here, which is the Node.js server that uses Express. Okay, that's great. We added MongoDB which is no SQL. We need to add SQL. Okay, so we need to do this. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Ready? 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 I have a Node.js project using Express, and I want to add MySQL into this project to be able to learn the concepts of SQL. Project in order to learn the concepts in SQL. Okay. So let's have it do it. All right. So we need to install. We already have Express. MySQL 2. Why 2? Okay. Express your framework. This client with promise. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so use a local MySQL server or cloud server. Can I do it locally? And sample table. I don't want to actually set up any remote thing. I just want to do it locally. I did that with MongoDB. It was just local, so I'm guessing that we can do it here as well. Okay, so create a database.js. I already have a database.js, and it is for Mongo. Maybe I can create a db2.js. All right. App.js. Okay, well, we have our server.js right here. That's like our main file. Okay, that's fine. Create CRUD operations. We already have that. Define routes. We already have that. Plug that. Okay, so this is what we need to do right there. All right. So let's see. Actually, I want to run MySQL locally on my MacBook. Okay. Okay. Homebrew. So, brew install MySQL. That sounds more reasonable. Brew install MySQL. Okay, so that will run. Do we need to add it to packages in here, right? Auto updating homebrew. Okay, so it's doing its thing. That's fine. Okay, secure your installation. This lets you set a root password and remove insecure defaults. I don't care about security. Option 2. I said, okay, I did option 1. Option 1. Now, and I already have a server, Express Node.js server with all of my routes. How can I add in the database functionality? Okay, and this guy is still running its course, so we'll let it do that. Okay. Well, both of them are taking their little time. Well, we don't have much to do if both of them are doing it. So how's it going? How's everyone doing? Guess we just have to chill. Come on, why? Okay. I have internet. If I didn't have internet, this would not be going, but it's going, so. Okay, this is something. Come on. Can I just like redo you? There we go. All right, so you likely did this already, but just to confirm, why do I need to do that? This gives you promise support, which is ideal for. Oh, I need to. Well, I already use async, right? So in my code, I've already done a lot of asynchronous functions, like so in my NoSQL, my MongoDB, we can come here. No, this is an EJS file. Company routes. Yeah, this will have an example of an asynchronous. Well, right there, exactly. So every time you deal with the MongoDB, you need to do async functions, right? So like, for example, right here, I do company, which is a collection within the MongoDB database. And then I do .find. So I'm finding all of the elements within the company collection. And I need to put that await because otherwise I'm just going to get a promise back and then I'm going to try to pass in a promise to my EJS file, render that. That doesn't make any sense, right? You need to await. So I already have await functionality. Like, I don't understand why this is telling me I need to install MySQL 2 to enable await or asynchronous things. That's a good question. I already am able to do async. No. In my JavaScript code. So why do I need to do the line? Paste that in there. Okay. All right. So now, this is going to be question number 1. Okay. Question number 2 is going to be, do I need to install some? Okay. So I need to come back here and kind of refresh myself of how this Node.js works, right? We have these node modules. Do I need to install it into the node module? Do I need to install this into my install anything, I guess would be a more anything into my node modules or anything else before I can use the MySQL. Okay, so for example, I know in Java Spring Boot, I have a pom.xml file that I need to add all my dependencies and context of the application period. Do I need to do this here in my Node.js? Okay, so that's this one, but let's come back up to here and let's just assume we figure that out. That's going to be the next question, right? But let's just assume that we figure that out. So create a db.js. We already have one, so we'll have to create a different one. Looks like this is running. Hopefully everything is good. Let's see, MySQL --version. All right, I like the look of that. Okay, so let's come here. This keeps your connection logic separate and reusable. Okay, yeah. So what are we doing here? So we are const MySQL require this. That's the same thing that we did here. Oh, no, in PM, in a node package manager, that's actually the literal. I asked two questions, okay? The first question is like, do I need to do that command? And then the second question is what the first question like does. Okay. Well, that's what it was. I forgot. Node Package Manager is the application, or is like the what do you call it? That's how you interact, I believe, with the like node modules, right? Like Node JS, what is that? JavaScript cannot be ran outside of the browser, right? So how does the server do it? How am I able to do it right here, right on my local computer? This isn't in the browser. How's that doing it? Well, Node is running JavaScript, right? And Node is written in, I believe it's C++. Okay, so it's like a engine for your JavaScript. So the Node Package Manager allows me to add that context to Node so that it can do those operations. I believe that's how it works. Don't quote me on that one, but I think that's how it's working. I'm just refreshing myself as well, trying to remember all that. Okay, so we're gonna require this. Okay, MySQL. It's getting a little bit hot. Hold up a second. All right, so we're gonna capture that in this variable. Okay, then what are we going to do? We are going to act on that variable. So we're going to call this create pool. We'll have to figure, so the way that I do my projects is, number one, I just try to get something to work, anything to work, okay? Try to get a golden unit. Then once I get something that works, now it's time to back engineer. Now it's time to understand, like, how is this working? Why is this working? What is it doing, right? So I'm not going to concern myself too much with this create pool, except just a very high level. So I'm doing something here, and I'm passing in a JavaScript object, right? Not JSON, not JSON. JSON is a string. This is a object, like a dictionary, right? Host, local host, okay, yeah. User, root, password, good. I'm not going to change that. I don't care. Database, I can change this one. Okay, whatever. Wait for connections true. Connection limit is 10, and then export it as pool. Okay, using a pool helps manage multiple queries efficiently. All right, use the database in my root handler. Then I'm guessing I just export it into my server.js. We'll make sure that that's the case. Where do I see it? Here we go. Yep, and do that. And I'm not going to call it DB. I'm going to call it whatever, like MySQL DB, something like that. That way I can differentiate between my MongoDB server and my SQL server. Okay, so now test with Postman or curl. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna have to create another endpoint and just try to put something in it. My question here, I guess, would be, I never defined like a schema. So, or did I? I'm not seeing a schema, right? So post. Okay, so we're doing a post at the endpoint register. It's an asynchronous function. We come here, so const name and email is request body. So we're getting that from the body of the request that's being sent. Okay, so then we are going to try const result. Okay, so I'm not exact. So in JavaScript, does this, when you have brackets around the result, does that make it a list? Or like, I'm actually not too sure what that syntax does. Maybe that might be a good question. Okay, so in this context, what does the brackets around variable names do? What does the brackets around variable names do? Okay, and then I need to actually give it the context. Okay, so number 2, what other questions are we going to do? Okay, so I guess the second question is, I don't see a place that I explicitly created a table or any form of schema in this database, how am I able to add name and email to a formless, non-existent table? Okay. This is question number 2. So I'm doing something and it's await. So I'm awaiting this until this promise is fulfilled. Okay, so db.execute, insert into users, name, email, values here. Okay, so I'm seeing that this is like SQL language, right? So if you're, for example, if you're doing a query with SQL, I know that you do like select star, and the star means all. So select all from, then the table that you want. And what was the other one? Like where, and then value is greater than 10, and where, I don't know if you actually do the where a second time, but and where value 2 is less than 13 by descending order or something like that, right? So I'm seeing that this is SQL language right here, more like language. It's not a programming language, but like the way you communicate with a database. So I'm inserting into users. I think that this is like a table. Okay, so insert into users. I didn't see that we actually created users. So that's what I'm saying. Like it seems like it's a non-existent table. Okay, name, email. So I obviously I have eyes and I can see that this is lowercase name, and right here I have lowercase name. But how does SQL or whoever is like performing this execute call, I think it's Node.js, know that to associate these two and that this is a variable? Like, how does it know that that's a variable? Because this is the entire thing is a string. Where values, or sorry, not where. Insert this values question mark question mark. Okay. And then we pass in a list. Okay, so then we send back success status. We send back a JSON, right? And ID is the ID of the item that we just inserted into our SQL, okay? And then the name and email. Awesome. Otherwise, if we get an error, we send back the 500. Okay, cool. Then we test it. Okay, so expand more queries. That's fine. We're just focused on getting. If we get that in this video, I'm gonna be happy. So let's take a sip of water and then keep tracking on. All right. So why do I need this here? Even if you know async. Oh wait. Knowing how to use, well, I wasn't quite meaning knowing how to use, but I mean like it made it seem like that was not part of standard JavaScript, which I believe it is, right? Like this library is the actual library that makes it possible to talk to MySQL database in Node.js. Okay, JavaScript alone doesn't have native tools for for connecting directly with MySQL. Okay, so that goes back to that thing about it's running. This Node.js is written in C++, and it allows me to do like functions to my operating system, right? So that's how the the JavaScript is able to run on my computer. Node.js is actually running. Okay, but in this context, Node doesn't know how to interact with MySQL. So that's why I have to give it that context. Okay. So that's why I do that command. Let's do it right now. Okay, so let's just do it. npm install. Okay, so node package manager install MySQL2, was it? MySQL2, yeah. Ding, 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 ding. 20 packages are found. Is it a success? I believe so. Okay. And we have new modules up there. Okay. Package.json was also changed, and this should have that new, where is it? There it is, right there. Okay. Looks like we are, so this I believe is similar to my pom.xml on the Java one. Okay. So let's see. Do you need a node equivalent of the POM XML? Node.js works differently from Java projects like Spring Boot. What Node.js uses instead? Package. That's literally what I'm on right now. Package.json. This is the closest equivalent to the POM.xml. Hey, it means I'm actually understanding this, right? Like, that's like legitimate evidence that I am starting to understand these kind of concepts. That's pretty cool. Okay, so your projects, dependencies, SQL, okay, all of that. Write scripts, okay, blah, 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 blah. It installs it, great, great, great. Okay, so let's just do this. Okay, what does this do? This is array deconstructing in JavaScript. What happens is the dbx. Oh, I think I know what it's gonna happen. Is I'm getting back something. What am I getting back? I'm getting back an array, and I want to take. I want to say, okay, this array I'm expecting to have two values. Here's the array, here are the two values, save those two values into the variable names. I don't care about the array, I care about the value names. I think that's probably what's going to happen. Okay, so db execute function returns a promise that resolves into an array of two elements. Bam, bam. Okay. Rows contains query results like insert IDs, selected data, etc. Okay. Okay. It means give me only the first item from the array, the actual query itself, and call it result. If you want both, you could write like that, okay? Alright, so number 2, why doesn't the table or schema appear? Short answer, it doesn't magically exist. You need to create it manually before inserting data. Oh, okay, darn. So step 1, log into MySQL via the terminal. Okay, so we're gonna have to do this. Okay, let's do it right now. So MySQL root. Okay, let's just do that. Cannot connect. Darn. What do you do whenever there's a problem? Sudo! Okay. Sudo didn't work? Whoops. Okay. Step number 2, create my database if not done yet. So I have not created my database because I can't do this one. MySQL. Yeah. Root. Here. Cannot connect to local MySQL server through socket here. Do I need to, am I doing it in like a wrong location? Like, do I need to add something to my path variables or something? I don't know. So let's see what it says here. Isn't running. Okay, so yeah, let's run it first. Oh, we need to start it. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so brew services start MySQL. And like I remember I needed to do the same thing with MongoDB. I would do like brew I believe it was services. I don't know. Brew something mongoose start or something. I don't know. I can't remember. And then you need to do stop and yeah. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so I started it. Now I'm gonna try this one actually, and then hey. Okay, is an item that can run in the background. Okay, did I access denied? I got an access denied, but then it told me that, so I don't know. Should we try the sudo? Let's try it. Why? Okay. I see you're trying to log in as root, but I don't trust you. Using password, yes. Did you provide a password, but it was incorrect? Trying to log in without a password. If that works, you can set a password later using... So, okay. Oh, does the P mean password? Yes. Got it. Okay. So, now we need to go back up and get all those things. Okay. Okay. So now step 2, create my database. Okay, so we are going to create a database. Okay, so let's do that. DB SQL. Okay. Okay. So now use express underscore DB underscore SQL. Okay. Database changed. Okay. So create my table. So now, okay, so this is where I actually create the table. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to create the schema in here. So let's go create table. And now I want users. Okay, and what parameters do I want users to have? Can I press this enter? Or is it going to, go to or is it going to submit it, or is it going to go to the next line? Okay. ID int is an integer. Okay. Auto increment primary key. Okay. So the ID is going to be the primary key. So this is how I am going to interact and like identify the unique row in my table, in my users table. Okay. Can I just press? Okay, I can. I can just press. I don't need to do like shift enter or anything. Okay, so it's going to also have, so one column is going to be ID, and that's going to be the primary key. That's going to be how I identify each row, right? Each row is going to have a unique ID number, and I can identify the row. It's also going to be, another column is going to be name, and this is going to be a varchar, so that's like a string with 50, so that's the maximum length. Okay. I don't want a comma there, so varchar 50. Okay. Not null. So not null means that this value has to be added. By the way, if you're wondering, like, wait, how do you know this stuff? So I never had to take a database class because my major is electrical engineering. But Susie, who is computer science, she did need to take a database class, so I kind of snuck in, right? I snuck in, and so I listened in to her lectures while she was there, and so that's why I kind of it's coming back to me. I was really busy at that time. So I didn't do like homework, obviously, because I wasn't in the class. But I listened in, so I remember like, oh yeah, it's coming back to me. All this stuff. Anyways, so what do we do here? So email varchar 100 not null. Oops. Not null unique. Okay, so I don't remember unique, but just judging based off of what's going on, is unique is going to force this email to be unique. So just like a primary key by definition is unique, this one is also going to be unique, but name, it does not need to be unique. Both can have John as their first name, or Tim, or Erica, or Susie, or telephone, or whatever it is, right? Like, so there. Query okay. All right, now your table exists. You can accept inserts. If you skip the first run and try to run, it will throw an error because it doesn't exist. Okay, so now we can go back up to here and do this. So let's do that. So let's come here, database. No, I want to be in this one. I want db underscore sql.js. Okay. Now in here, I am going to say const. Okay. MySQL, I like that, is equal to require. And what am I requiring? I am requiring this MySQL 2 promise. Okay. Okay. So now we get to actually set up the settings, I guess. I don't know. Const pool is equal to MySQL dot create pool. Okay. Host is local host. Okay. User is going to be equal to root. Password. Do I need a password? I don't know. Is this like a default? I don't know. We'll see. Didn't help. Okay, that's password, database. I'm just gonna copy this actually. Okay, so now we need to export it. Module.exports is equal to pool. Okay, so now I need to go to my server and grab that. Right. Or do I just need, I think I only need to grab this from the location that I'm actually going to store it in, right? Let's do it from let's just do it from here. I don't want to mess with like extra routes, honestly. So some kind of animal outside. So let's do it right here. Okay, so const I think I'm gonna get an error. They like it this way, right? Import db import, and then from my current working directory db sql.js, I think. Okay, so now what can I do? Okay, first let's try to get something working. That's all I care about right now. So it's going to be app.post. Okay, so we are going to say adding a testing endpoint to add data into an SQL database, MySQL. Okay. Just paste it. This is not going to be router because I'm not doing router. I am doing app. So where DB, I think it needs to be DB SQL. Okay. Register. I'm just gonna say SQL. DB underscore SQL, right? But now we need some way to actually send a post request. Do we want to do it through Swagger? Okay, so I put my the function you gave me into my server.js file. I now want to create a Swagger whatever comment to allow me to send the post request. Okay. All right. So I've already done this. I've already done that. Okay. So now I'm gonna come here and just put this above it. Okay. So how did I get this? I forgot how I even got Swagger. Oh, right, it was like this. Okay, so can I just do quit here? No. Exit. Okay. Whoops. Come on. Okay. All right. Ah, there we go. Okay. So now I need to do what? Nodemon. Okay, so nodemon server.js. Okay, do your thing. Oh, I don't like that. Why? Require here. Okay, const MySQL slash promise. Okay, but we have it in our package, right? I mean, we don't have explicitly promise, so. And okay. Type module in your package, which means project is running ES modules. This mode. Wait, hold on. No, wait. I thought I understood. You need to use import and export instead. Okay, yeah. Import MySQL from. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, it doesn't like this here. So I am going to change that. So import MySQL from, and then my, did it have the promise thing? No. Promise. Okay. And now I am going to do the change here, which is export default pool. Okay. Like that. And now I'm going to see if this, okay, it's running. So now I want to go here. What? No, where is it? Up here to this localhost 5,000, not 3,000. It should be. And then API docs. Ooh, I don't like this. What's happening there? I don't know. So I'm gonna come here and then paste that, and I'm gonna go 5,000. Okay. So now this one right here. Okay. So I'm going to come here and do a post request and try it out. Okay, so I'll just do me, Timothy, and then my fun email 2764 Add example.com. Okay, so let's press execute and see what we get. Execute. Okay, so responses DB SQL. It's not fun. Okay, server.js. Register SQL, yeah. Execute here. Oh, wait, no, it's... Did I get a 500 or a 201? I don't know. Okay. Well, I guess before I come here, console.log, and then I'm going to say, I don't know, like that. I don't know. Okay. So now I'm just going to do this exact same thing and see if I get that. Well, I didn't get that, so I'm guessing I'm getting an error. Console.log bad news. Okay. Execute. Bad news. Darn. Okay. ID result.id or insert name. DB underscore SQL. But I did. Oh. Import DB underscore SQL from here. Okay. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. I'm just gonna say 27. 221 actually. Execute. Access denied. Okay. Bad news. Access denied. Okay, let's see what it has to say about for itself here. That's probably, maybe it's because of the password, actually. Looks like you're now successfully connecting to your Express route, but SQL is throwing an error, permission errors. You correctly tried to authenticate as root, but MySQL is rejecting your password. Oh, okay. It was here, and then my password is nothing. Okay. Now let's come back here and execute. Internal error. Oh, then restart MySQL and update this. But I think NodeMon automatically updates things, right? Yeah, I did that. Okay, database, Express. Your database with... what did I call it though? What did oh man. Um what if I forgot what I called my database when I created it? All right, so we're going to log out, or not log out, but get out of NodeMon and then do MySQL. Okay. Now we do show databases. Show database bases. Okay. All right. So I have Express DB SQL. Okay. Syst performance MySQL. I don't know if it's MySQL or Express here. Okay. So I'm gonna come here, copy that, paste it into there, see what it has to say about this. I'm assuming that there can be something to show me like what's actually in each of those things, because I don't know why it is like there's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously there's some kind of default tables that are created with it. Anyways, is alive, blah 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 blah. So okay, so instead of your DB name, we're gonna just call it express underscore DB underscore SQL. Okay, express DB underscore, okay. All right, so now we are going to exit out of this. Okay, and then we are going to start NodeMon again. So it should be right up there. Okay, no errors. We like that. Let's go back to here and press execute. Hey, and we got it. We got it. Which is what I typed here, that random number, 7878, right? So there we go. 201. Timothy with fun email there. And now I'm curious, why did it show me this? Okay. Why did it show me a whole bunch of, I'm just gonna call it random, but it's not really random obviously, but I don't know what it is, of random information in my terminal about 10 seconds after I did an execute of the post request in Swagger. I'm just curious what's going on. Okay. Isn't so random, yeah. But I don't know what it is. So let's see what it is. It is your app trying and failing to connect to Mongoose. I don't want to connect to Mongoose. This means your app is still attempting a MongoDB connection, localhost, but there's no MongoDB server, hence a refusal. Even though your Swagger post request targets request SQL, which uses MySQL, your app probably contains unused or leftover Mongoose connection attempts somewhere, maybe near the top of server.js or in a separate thing. So once your app boots, it starts listening. Oh, I think I know what's going on. So I'm booting it, okay, and then later in my code in a separate location, right, I created my MongoDB connection, which is like right here, right? And I think what's happening is it is trying to connect to my MongoDB, but I never did the homebrew connection Mongo start, right? Or start Mongo or whatever that line was. So on my local computer, on my local hardware, MongoDB is not running. Okay, so my server, this one, my project is trying to connect to the MongoDB, but it can't do so. Okay, that's what's going on. That's normal. That's expected. There's no problem. Okay, I was just wondering, like, bam, gave me all that information. I was like, oh, what's going on here? I thought it had to do something with my call to the MySQL. So, guys, we got it. We got it. We were able to add SQL into the project. So obviously, we don't understand it. That's the next video. The next video is, okay, cool. We got something working. Now let's try to reverse engineer it, try to understand what's going on. What did I do? How did it work? What does each line actually do and mean, and why is it there, and what's going on? All of that. We have to now really sink our teeth into it and understand what's going on. But in this video, I just wanted, okay, let's add SQL into the project. And we did. So, mission accomplished. Thank you everyone for watching this video. If you liked it, subscribe. I'm going to be making more videos and we're going to continue this project. We're going to keep on going. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. My name is Timothy Lee Grant and I will see you very soon.